Hey guys, The Greatest Conspiracy, Part 1, The Doctrines of Devils. I'm going to make these videos very short and sweet because I know you guys have a lot of important things to do. You have a very short attention span due to watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I want to keep you here for the whole 2 or 3 minutes. So quickly as we can, let's use the King James Bible to dispel myths about religion and the teachings of certain religions. The Doctrines of Devils, the Catholics. So using the Bible's own principle of on the testimony of 2 or 3 may all matters be established. Deuteronomy 19 and, I think that's a 13, 19 and 15, and the principle given at 2 Corinthians 13 and 1. Let's skip to the latter there, 2 Corinthians 13 and 1. And this is what we're going to base all of our matters on for all future episodes of The Greatest Conspiracy on the testimony of 2 or 3. So 13 and 1, this is the 3rd time I am coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. Another rendering, on the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every matter be established. So using 2 or 3 witnesses, we can now prove something. So let's see the first pope. Who was the first pope? St. Peter. Now the tradition of popes, bishops, and deacons, you can't be married. You have to be celibate. So let's look up Matthew 8 and 14 to take a look at a little bit of the peek in St. Peter's life. And let's see if this follows along with the tradition of being a celibate for a pope, priest, deacon, so on and so forth. 8 and 13, 14. There you go, 14. And when Jesus was come into Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother laid, and sick of a fever. I hate Old English. Let's summarize that. When Jesus came into Peter's house, he seen Peter's mother-in-law sick with a fever. In order to have a mother-in-law, you have to have a wife. St. Peter had a wife? But he was the first pope. Popes aren't supposed to be married. That's strange how Jesus' very own disciple, Peter, who was supposedly the first pope, had a wife, and how that's changed over the years. Let's look at another one. 1 Timothy 3 and 1. So this is bishops and deacons now. Let me see here. It's really cold in here. I'm in my shop, which doesn't have the heat on at the moment, so that you can hear me talking. It's freezing. Okay, 1 Timothy 1 and 3. Sorry, 1 Timothy 3 and 2. I gotta slow down a little bit here. Okay, a bishop then must be blameless, of course, the husband of one wife. A bishop, the husband of one wife. Okay, interesting. I thought bishops weren't allowed to marry. Okay, 3 and 12. Let the deacons be the husbands of one wife. So the first pope had a wife? Bishops and deacons in Bible times had wives. Why has that changed? Well, interesting. Let's read on. 1 Timothy 4, 1 through to 3. Now, here comes the Old English. Bear with me, people. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats. Oh. Forbidding to marry. The Pope can't be married, bishops can't be married, and deacons can't be married. The Pope's changing the rules on deacons because they don't have enough deacons in some countries, so they'll allow married men to become deacons. The Pope, the religion will allow married men. What does the Bible say about that? Deacons can be married, they just have to have one wife. Bishops can be married, of one wife. Popes can be married, of one wife. But the Bible says, in latter times, they shall depart from the faith, giving into the doctrines of devils. Catholics, you can eat meat on Fridays. The Bible says so. If you've read the Bible, in here, it says so. 1 Timothy 4 and 3. Look it up. You can eat meat on Fridays. It's okay. So, the doctrines of devils. In latter times, people will have them. You can see clearly that they do. We just busted 4 of them. So, on the testimony of 2 or 3, given by the scriptures, a matter can be established. We just used 4. Okay? Lots of fun. Let's keep at this. The next one, I'll let it be a surprise. We'll see what I work on next. See you guys soon. And hey, study this up. This is very interesting. If you're an atheist or you're an unbeliever or you just say, oh, it's all a whole bunch of hooey, you should study the scriptures and look at prophecies that have come true. Consider Daniel's prophecy talked about King Alexander, or King or Prince Alexander, who ruled, and then how his kingdom would be broken up into 4 parts and divided. All of that was talked about, hundreds or thousands of years before Alexander even came onto the scene. Alexander was even proud that he was mentioned in the Bible as a great leopard. And that happened. That was predicted, and that was told in great detail. So you can look at prophecies, because they're all throughout the Bible, that speak to the practicality and the truth that the Bible knows the future. Interesting. How could it know the future without a creator? I'll see you all guys around. Peace.